Hey, what's going on, everyone? Chicago Trader checking in for the weekly fundamental video. Hope you guys are having a nice week. Checking in here on Friday. Had a lot of names moving, but it's going to be a similar quick video to last week's. Just covering a few names. Nothing, really caught my interest as far as deep diving in. But a few names that I, kind of jotted down that were moving that, did catch my interest, and I tried to take advantage of on the fundamental side. First one was DPW. This was an old crypto name from back in the day. Had a PR. Only thing that I really saw, I mean, they obviously have the S3 pending. Um, doesn't have effect yet, but they did have this ATM, up to $5 million. It has the float listed. It was a nano float, so hard to borrow for myself at least. Um, Next one was Solely. So this one was an interesting one, just from the fact that this one has moved in the past. Had a couple of huge moves. Um, they released a PR. Don't really even recall what it was, but the reason I thought it was so interesting was because it was on the 20th, I believe, this week. And if you come here, Edgar does a lockup. Um, Solely's lockup expires on the 19th, so that means the 20th, insiders can start dumping their shares. So on day 181, PR comes out, and it actually held up fairly well. A little bit better than I expected, but just definitely something to watch in the near future for myself. One of the bigger movers, IBIO, um, has a lot of prospectism, chatter here. So on the 22nd of June. This one's interesting because this is a little bit larger of a company, larger float. Um, but you can see here they're offering the 4.3 million shares, and then there's a little over 11,000 of Series A and B convertible preferred. So obviously, if you guys have watched any of the past videos, the convertible preferreds, the pre-funded warrants, those are really toxic usually. So scrolled on down here, there's a little bit more detail on it, kind of what they exercise at. So there was 11 million shares before this, so you obviously got to add the 4.3 to it, and then these are going to be dumped into shares as well. So has the ability to probably over double the outstanding shares. Definitely a huge move. I think it hit like almost $4 pre-market, and you can see it just. I mean, it went red. It was one of the crazier moves. What else do we have on the? Oh, DMPI. This one also moved. Um, so this one I wanted to bring up just solely for the case that if you guys remember last year, TNXP and TENX both did offerings, and people they didn't have effect on their S3s when they did them. And this is a similar one to where they have this S1, they come out and amend it, and then what happens is, so you can see the S1 comes out, they amend it on the 12th. This says the effect came out the 14th, but this wasn't filed on the 14th, right? So then they come out, the morning of the 15th, and they offered. What happens is you can kind of come through and read the press release. So again, this was, I guess it was on the 14th. So yeah, they offer the 14th, and then, they kind of just sneak this in that the SEC declared, that S1 effective today. Oh, by the way, we're just going to do an offering and file them at the same time. Shady. They shouldn't be able to do that. But it is what it is. So people that are stocking S1s waiting for the effect, a lot of times they can do the effect and offering at the same time. So not common, but definitely not uncommon. Last one, CETX was another one that really caught my attention. I thought it was really low on cash, but this is kind of where you got to dig through and do a little bit more. So look, July 1st, they got a little over $1.5 million. Loses a decent amount of money. If I can come through and find it, I cannot find it. So losing, a decent amount of money. I thought they would be out of cash. Maybe, an offering's coming soon. But then, come to this 8K here on the 21st. Looks like they completed a disposition. It's going to have a decent amount of chunk of change coming to them. So it was a small cap nano float on this thing. So For myself, didn't really trade much size on it, but kind of a bland video this week. Hopefully, we get something that I can do a little bit more deeper dive into. But I do like to keep these simple. As far as for my strategy, anything that's more recent dilution, I like more. A lot of the older ones, as I've mentioned a myriad of times, or I don't really give as much weight to, but you can see on the DPWs and the recent ATM plays, the recent convertible plays. Once they get that first or second chance to dump some of those shares, they're usually all over. So if you guys have any questions or want me to do, if I missed a stock and you want me to, maybe include it in the video, we'll be more than happy to. So just let me know and have a nice weekend, guys.